from this, we'll find out shortly, as we will go to map number 2, which will be Dust2, as we mentioned just now, as we throw to our casters.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to getting into this possible final map, and I say final map, I think that is what it's going to be. I think Dust2 should be the map where we see this one, and I think Wind and Rain are just too solid not to win this one. We've seen the performance on Inferno. It was Endpoint's pick. Here on Dust2, I think things are going to be a little more difficult for Endpoint.
Yeah, Wind and Rain could win this just on Dust2 and Inferno. Only the 2 maps they've played in these first 2 series. Let's see if they can take it over the line here.
Well, already 1 kill coming in for Endpoint, so it's a good start. A follow-up coming in as Imi connects towards the lower tunnels. They'll try and find a little bit more action as they start to find kills. It's Ents finally stepping up for the T side. First blood drawn for Wind and Rain. We'll see if Imi can get anything done here again. There's the follow-up. 2 kills for him into the pistol.
Fade away from Imi. Gets his team that 2-man advantage you were talking about. And at this point, Wind and Rain don't have too many options left on the table. Milshine can't really take this fight with the Glock, you would think, at long range, but he's going for it anyway. And there's a man behind that car, pops his head up. It's almost like whack-a-mole. He's trying to get the connection, but he just can't find it. Artist staying alive as long as he can, and there's the bait in for Imi, who finishes the job. Only Daddy Z left alive, and at least there's only 1 player on this B site, but the round win seems almost impossible.
No, yeah, starting to make his way through the tunnels. He's going to look for the kill here close on car, and there's the chance. There's the kill as well. 1v3 needs to cross over the doors. He actually wants to take that fight as well. Bomb plant coming in. That's the job done at this point. At least he gets the extra money in the bank account for his team moving forward, but he has to try and step up with more. What a time it would be here at the start of Dust2. We know that Wind and Rain love to get off to the hot starts, but there's 1 player out towards Window, 1 running through the door, and it's Imi with the headshot. 3 kills, make it 4 overall into the pistol. What would you... If we sat down here and said Imi's going to find a quad kill here in the grand final, at the start of this day, you would say no way. But he does it, and it's Endpoint off to a good start here on Dust2.
Yeah, if you'd have told me Imi was going to get a quad kill in the final, I would have said, how's Imi playing in the final? Because I thought Vex were going to beat Endpoint. But no, Endpoint are here, and they are here to try to put up a fight. Wind and Rain get, okay, a bit of team damage and damage done to Mighty Max. Landed onto both players, but yeah, look at this buy from Wind and Rain. Considering they lost that round, they've got an insane amount of rifles out.
Well, Wind and Rain starting their approach up towards short. This could be a bit of a problem for Endpoint if they don't expect this. And to be fair to them, you shouldn't really expect this to come through whatsoever. You know there's a possibility of a force buy, but with the strength that it's in, perhaps not. Emil Shine keeping the Krieg in his hands. We've seen his performance with that weapon earlier, and it's definitely scary. So it has to be given respect on the Endpoint side of things. Laney will be sitting off towards the ramp area. He'll make his way up on towards the site. With the M4A4, he'll look down the barrel, and there's the headshot. Emil Shine will take it on towards Laney. Man advantage there for the T sides. They start to come on in. Bomb planted. We've seen this sort of similar round play out for Wind and Rain earlier on Dust2. They love to take that short control, just get the bomb planted and sink their teeth deep into short.
They don't have many nades. They didn't have any nades really to work with, but just getting onto the site is a great start, and Daddy Z in the corner isn't cleared. Great transfer, nearly the 3rd, but Imi eventually comes back, almost gets himself another frag, but it's only ZNX left alive, and he is not in a position to win this. Wind and Rain managed to get all the frags between them. Really nice spray transfer there in the mix to make sure that they win the round. And like we were saying, all those rifles just seemed to catch Endpoint off guard. They only needed the 1 kill to get the bomb planted, and from there on out, they go on to win the round.
Whoa, nice shot from Deos as well. Imi completely finished off it. Well, man, advantages there for Wind and Rain again, and they just seem a little bit more pumped up, I would say, than Endpoint. Coming out of that, though, after that massive defeat on Inferno, we've seen Imi, we kind of talked to him a little bit. He didn't seem too deflated.
No, he seemed still in positive spirits. I mean, maybe that's why he got that 4K on the pistol.
Maybe.
Staying positive.
Well, Wind and Rain certainly looking like the better side at the minute, but ZNX has picked up 1 onto Deos. Lauti in a great position, surely gets at least 1, maybe even 2, and that's exactly what he will find. It's all but over as Ents will pick that one up. 2-1 for Wind and Rain, and they get the bomb plant for some extra cash, so good start coming in here.
Yeah, nice start from the Wind and Rain guys here on Dust2. we are going to have to keep our eye on that short position into those future gun rounds. This one, though, is low by, and again, more damage done by Deos on the cross. He's proving to be quite successful at landing those tags on towards mid. Mighty Max, the man chunks down low. Ents put under pressure, and those pistols do run him down, but I doubt they'll get too much more done.
Well, Imi able to pick up the kill towards Deos. It's into a 3v3 with the bomb safely in the possession for ZNX and Artis at the minute. I would say safely. They don't have the greatest hold. With only the pistols, as Laddie will take away Artis. And the bomb will just sit there. Danny holding the angle, wants to walk through the gap in the door. He will do so. A headshot is there onto ZNX, and Imi, he will look over the top of the wall on short, trying to pick up that kill, but it's Danny with the frag, and it's 3-1.
Maybe a little uncomfortable for Wind and Rain, losing that bomb, losing a couple of guns towards mid. After all is said and done, they get the round win over the line. And again, Deos has got that AWP in his hands, trying to watch this mid-cross. He's landed shots in the past. This time, he is not going to be successful. So Endpoint get to B safely. However, Daddy Z is just going to run right up short, and Endpoint don't have anyone here to really stop him.
Ooh. Kinect goes over the top. Danny has got himself a Molotov in his back pocket alongside a smoke and a double flashbang. He'll sit back behind the smoke and bide his time. Ready to go in for the CT cross. Got players playing passively on the CT defense. There's Lauti, who has had incredible multi-kill potential in this series so far. Has continued to do so on Dust 2. It's Ents picking up the early frag on towards Lenny. So man advantage is there for the T side.
ZNX has so many angles to watch here. You can see he's turning around, trying to find a position, but now they know where he is, and there is no cover to work with. As soon as Wind and Rain find the second frag, that's effectively round done. They were cut off on the Endpoint side from the rotation. Those smokes in towards CT from Wind and Rain allow them to successfully split towards that B bomb site. And again, we're seeing Wind and Rain look really, really solid on Dust 2.
Yeah, just kind of those early kills is enough to force Endpoint to shut up shop and just save whatever they have into the next one. And with Wind and Rain building the money, it's quite a similar story to that of Inferno, right? We've seen them build up the cash, and they could afford to try and break Endpoint's money and hunt them, and that's exactly what they want to do here, as Deos will take away Artis and will shine ball right towards Mighty Max. So at least it's equal, back and forth, but they know the last two players are locked in towards long. Wind and Rain want to get rid of a couple of more of these weapons, but it's just not going to happen here, I'm afraid. As Mighty Max actually gets the double, the triple at the end there as well onto Lauti. So Mighty Max picking up a few kills, but they're still not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, they're not going to be too pleased with the position they are in right now. 4-1 down. The money starting to flow for Wind and Rain. And again, this team is just looking so good on their T sides. Throughout the day, they've been dominating on this T half, and they've got the B site. No one here for Endpoint. This is not great.
No. They've just been so lightning fast, Wind and Rain. It's kind of like a battering ram just running around the map, and, well, Endpoint haven't really got the strength at the minute to stop it, and it's just battering right through them. So, definite problems that are massively evident here. And, well, Deos taking away as ZNX, that definitely assists. So, Wind and Rain, there will be another one on the board, 5-1 here. But all the damage that they can do here, Endpoint, if they can slither away with an AWP, at least it's something. I mean, we have to try and take some silver linings here.
Yeah, Deos has been struggling to hold on to that AWP in a lot of these rounds. Goes down yet again. I think he's died in 5 of these early rounds. So considering Wind and Rain have got so many rounds on the board, that's maybe somewhat surprising. AWP carried over. Mighty Max gets a kill at the end. Artis also finds one of his own. So some damage being done here. Then again, Wind and Rain have got so much money that I don't think they'll be too fussed. Some reinvestment has to come through, but they still get the AWP. Endpoint, though, going for the double AWP setup. This time it's ZNX on that secondary AWP. Someone we've not really seen with the snipers so far. Let's see what he's going to do with it.
Definitely a player that can wield it, though. We've seen that a couple of times, but Artis is going to pick up the kill on towards Daddy early. So the man advantage this time goes in favor of Endpoint. That's something they haven't had quite often, so it's good to see something go their way. If they can follow up on it and don't fall here, that could really allow Endpoint to build up A few more runs on the CT side here. Leonie wants to get the kills, but the flashpoint comes in and it's well played. Ents will take away Imi in this battle. It looked as though it could have went in favor of Endpoint, and it still can as Leonie gets 2. It's into a 4 versus 2, and Endpoint certainly looking like the team that have come out on top here in round number 7. As Deos finished off, it's all on Emil Shine. And while he still has a chance to pull this off, it's highly unlikely.
Oh, he doesn't know there's a player behind him. Laney executes the last man for a triple kill. I like that play at the starts from Ardis as well there. Just a smart decision to hold mid. We saw Wind and Rain go for that mid aggression with the AWP holding a couple of times on that earlier map from them. So it looks like Ardis had watched that one out and realized that if he just holds a little bit to the right side, that he can probably get a pretty easy shot to go his way. This time, Deos has got the Mac 10 and Wind and Rain going for another fast B.
Well, this has to be a big haul for Mighty Max. They start to come in towards him. 2 kills picked up. Emil Shine will find the headshot back. And the AWP looks down the barrel. It's the kill from ZNX. And it's looking much better here for Endpoint. It's all on Deos. Mac 10 in hand. He'll start to spray away, but only gets the 1. ZNX capitalizes with 2. And there we go. Endpoint, a little bit of a smile on a few of their faces. Perhaps this is the turnaround that they need here on Dust 2.
Yeah, looking much improved on the Endpoint side after that round win. Again, Imi joint top fragging right now with Mighty Max. Quite a few of those kills came in the early rounds though. Obviously the quad on the pistol. We're seeing quite a few tags land towards mid.
We
Not
are.
that much damage this time though.
He did shoot him in the foot though, so understandable. Artist this time will take away Lauti early. So again, the advantage sides with Endpoint early. And with that blistering start that Wind and Rain managed to salvage, they're starting to crumble. You can feel like their momentum is starting to come to a sort of a halt. Is that an X? He'll pick up it. Ents. While the flashpoint goes through, line Emil Shine to put a little bit more pressure in towards the mid position. Smoke goes off towards CT Cross, but at this point they're just clutching at straws, seeing what sort of map control they have to work with. Realistically, it's not a whole lot. They're still locked in towards short. They're still going to have to try and frag out. And I mean, Wind and Rain, they're a team that can do this. They certainly can pull this off. We've seen impossible situations made possible by some incredible plays. So, Endpoint need to make sure they keep their concentration levels up here in round number 9.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Endpoint, once they've got these AWPs out, have been able to find quite a few easy kills. Maybe just due to the way in which Wind and Rain play. Those nades not connecting onto Imi whatsoever. Mighty Max spots the man towards mid. There's only 30 seconds left for Wind and Rain to make this play. Smoke goes down for a bit of cover. They're going to move up towards this A side of the map, but Endpoint's hold looks so strong on this A side.
Well, Artis will pick up Emil Shine, looks for the follow-up but cannot connect. He has to fall back, but he gets a second chance. He hits them both, but not the kill just yet. As Artis hides back, he has a teammate in Goose. This should not be a round win for Wind and Rain, and it won't be. Imi steps through, it's all on Deos, and he's dropped as well. 5-4, Endpoint on their merry way back into this game.
Yeah, even as Ardis was taking that fight the whole time, you were just ready for Imi to pounce from his position in towards Goose. It looked almost certain that he was going to close out the round. That's exactly what happens. Endpoint starting to find their footing here on Dust 2. And you can see ZNX willing to peek down mid. He's a player that we've talked about that sometimes maybe struggles with his confidence. This time he's happy to take the opening duel towards mid, but Wind and Rain are trying to close the distance and not quite connecting there.
These are the type of shots that really do kill your confidence, though. If you're just not landing anything, like, these should be kills. And, well, at least he has Mighty Max that will bail him out of it. And that's sometimes where you see a player that usually doesn't pick up the AWP just go, all right, I'm not feeling it right now, so as soon as I get the next opportunity, I'm not going to be playing it. Emil Shine will take away Imi. Headshot comes through. And it's into a 4v4, and that's the scary thing about this Wind and Rain side. They can make it happen just on Deagles.
They can definitely be dangerous with almost all weaponry. Hence not coming out on top this time, though. Laney takes the fight towards him. ZNX, is he finally going to connect? No, it's Ardis who comes in from the behind position, but it's only the 2 players left. They don't even have the bomb here. Laney's got the bomb over towards A long, so Wind and Rain haven't got too much to do right now. It's mainly just trying to play for frags.
Laney's just biding his time. ZNX will take away Lauti.
Nice kill from Emil Shine, but Ardis is there in reply. It is Endpoint's round as expected. Starting to bounce back here on Dust. We heard that it's not a map that they necessarily wanted to play, but right now it's looking like they're finding success against Wind and Rain, thanks to, I really think, those AWPs are a big part of it, because the way Wind and Rain play, they're really susceptible to getting picked off by those AWPs early, and then they're not sure how to follow up.
We haven't seen Wind and Rain struggle so far in these Prem finals, so what happens when they do start to struggle? That's a question that hasn't been answered yet. Hasn't even been asked because it hasn't had to be. They've just been so dominant so far. Well, this might just be a chance for Endpoint to really test them, spread them thin as Laney gets 2 kills. The bomb will hit the deck. He looks for more, but Artis will step in with 1. Daddy will find 1, but he's still on 5 HP. And will be Mighty Max stepping tall inside of the mid position, leaving Daddy on his own in a 1 versus 3. 5 HP. It has to be the ace clutch. And it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do so.
Oh.
Grenade comes in, and that's always the worst way to end one of those. So anticlimactic.
Special delivery for Daddy. Not one he wanted to receive, though. Laney is loving life in the pit position, though. He's been doing work from that spot, getting quite a few multi-kills to his name, and then he's got the support of the other players towards long, making sure they help him out. Oh, Deos playing a dangerous game there, jumping towards mid. The AWP of ZNX could have maybe found him. Decides to play it safe in this one. And again, Wind and Rain only have Deagles for most of their players, but we've been pointing out just how good they can be with the hand cannon. Can't count them out of this round.
They haven't had as much success so far on them as I was expecting.
Yeah. Online, they always look great with them in some of those regular season games.
Yeah, but that's when the pressure's kind of off. You know, even though they all say, we don't really mind if we lose, they certainly do, right? No one wants to lose. You're not competing. You don't have an urge to even get into competition if you don't like winning. So even if they don't admit it, no one wants to lose. I don't know what Loudy's done to his camera.
I know.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're getting to see new angles. But anyway, here it is. Number 12. Slow and steady. Will it win the race, Alex?
We'll have to wait to see, won't we? Because it is slow and steady for Wind and Rain. Very little damage done either way. This short play has worked previously, but this time Ardis is here with an AWP. This is the position you want here on the hold.
Missed shot, though, and that's a problem. He'll look back and, well, he's missed a few of those, and Daddy will not miss his shot. Headshot comes in. Man advantage there for the T side. The bomb getting planted. There's Kupia in the bag. Endpoint want to make sure every player is in position, ready for this retake. And there goes Laney, rattling shots. Ents has been dropped for 34 as the P250 from ZX does its best. They're going to try and move close in towards the side as Laney, a missed opportunity, but it finally hits the headshot. Still, it's falling apart. The kill comes in from Loudy. Laney able to find one, but Audi and Ents, that is absolutely ridiculous. The Deagle's finding so much success. It's all on Emmy. 21 HP. The time is ticking. It's all far gone, and that will be it. Another round of the board for Wind and Rain, and I cannot believe that I just said they are not looking excellent on the Deagles, and they managed to pull one out of the bag.
Curse of the commentator, of course. As soon as you say their Deags haven't looked as good as we thought, they managed to win with them. Nice
Exactly.
kills from Imi, though, at the end there.
Yeah, he manages to stay alive, which is the important part.
Gets something done. It does cause some issues for Wind and Rain's money maybe into the future. They've had to rebuy onto quite a few players, but yeah, again, Endpoint struggling a bit on that short position. This time, though, ZNX finally catches Deos. That's what we were waiting to see. Great timing from ZNX, and I think Wind and Rain have missed that Xbox smoke. Ooh. It's giving them enough cover for now, but ZNX is trying to peer over the top of it.
Well, Linny will take the kill on towards Ents, and that will give the two-man advantage on over towards Endpoint. While Mighty Maxi will take away Louty, and they'll Shine and Daddy on their own in a 2v5. It will be the Krieg rattling through the doors. I'll be looking for a little bit more as the Molotov goes in, spam through the doors yet again. Grenade going through, and finally we'll get a kill. ZNX onto him will Shine. A clean one starting to come through here from Endpoint. Will it be a clean sheet? Indeed it will be. ZNX landing shots in this one, 3 collective for him. I'm sure they'll be a little bit more happy about that one.
Yeah, 6 out of the last 7 rounds have gone the way of Endpoint, so I think it is time to see what Wind and Rain do when they are on the back foot. As you pointed out, they haven't really had many stresses so far, but they're not taking the timeouts. They're just going to stick to their game plan, and in this round, their game plan looks to be a quick play over towards the B side of the map. Previously, though, Mighty Max has been solid on this B hold. Let's see if he can do the same again.
Well, Mighty Max looks down the barrel of the AUG. He wants to pick this up, and he's got the first kill. Can he find any more than that? Yet to be seen, but he's still alive, so there's still the opportunity. You'll realize there's multiple players there. Smoke goes in alongside a flash, and he'll go back to a better position that he can play off with his teammate. As ZNX trying to rattle shots off on the AWP, but Mighty Max plays with the smoke, gets another before falling, and the man advantage is there on the CT side. ZNX quick on the AWP, finds Daddy, and it's into a 2v4. Deos and Ents trying to make it happen, but as Deos will pick up the kill on a ZNX with a deagle, running right through the window, Laney not wasting time. He wants this kill, he'll get it as well, and Imi will stand tall. It's Endpoint into the lead. Wind and Rain here on Dust 2 are not looking like the indomitable force we've seen earlier.
Yeah, quite a few rounds now where Mighty Max has just got those 2 kills on the B hold that he needs. And in this one, he sets up ZNX to be in a good position as well. And you look at the kills on the Endpoint side of things, everyone has hit double digits for them. Everyone doing their bits, and ZNX nearly gets caught off guard. He's got to be careful here.
He needs to find the pickup. He's gone aggressive again. He does get the kill. Flash comes in though, and that might just be him dead. Indeed it is. Shine will finish him off, and it's into a 4v4. Kind of a one and done there for ZNX. No assistance from his teammates, but Mighty Max will stand tall in the B-bomb side. Gets one, nearly the second. But with not finding that, it's a 3v3.
Nades left on both sides. Ents has got a smoke and a molly, but he's not going to use them. SG put to use, brings it into the 2v2. Endpoint have got nades to work with. Last round of the half, so there's no reason to say they begin to move forwards with the flashbang ready to be deployed.
Well, flashbangs are coming in as Deos with a pickup. Emi completely destroyed as he tries to enter through the window. And Artis is into the 1v2 clutch. The time is so far gone at this point. He has to go very quickly indeed, and he's got one. Tries to flick back, nearly gets the second, but Deos will end the half. Good stuff from Endpoint though. Considering it could have been a pretty poor start with the boys in Wind and Rain getting off to a very hot start. 4-0, they go for the 5-0, but they cannot quite get it done.
Especially...
It was Endpoint pick up the pistol.
Yeah, they did win the pistol and then got reset, but we saw Wind and Rain come out to that early lead, as you were pointing out, and I think it's nice for Endpoint really to have stopped Wind and Rain's T side, because that's where we've seen a lot of success from this Wind and Rain squad. You go back to that Dust 2 they played against Fierce in the semi-final. Wind and Rain took 11 rounds on their T side to make sure that they could cruise to victory. So the fact that Endpoint have put up a good half on their CT side definitely feels like that's the route to success. And now we're going to see what Wind and Rain have to offer on their CT sides, which haven't been as required from them in the past.
Looks like Emi might need one of those molded in-ear headphones. I'm looking forward to getting into the second half. It's been a pretty good grand final, all things considered. After seeing a pretty one-sided first map, coming into the second, I thought it was going to be another one of those, but, well, Endpoint have shown up a bit more here on the second map of this best of 3, and hopefully continue to do so on the second half, because if they win the pistol like they did in the first half, that gives them a really solid chance of building up a lead here.
See if Imi can have a repeat performance from that pistol where he got those 4 kills. He's really been holding his own on this map in particular as well. Currently middle of the pack for Endpoint. 12 kills to his name. It's really been a team effort for the Endpoint side. Mighty Max has had a lot of impacts when he's been tested on that B site. Ardis was just generally finding kills across the board. Really solid throughout for Endpoint, but they still need to make sure that they can carry that over into the second half. And we haven't really talked as much maybe about Wind and Rain, but I feel like that's because some of their big players have gone a little bit missing. Emil Shine in particular had been so great in almost every map so far in the Premiership. He's currently only got 7 kills on the board. That's not what we expect to see.
Yeah, he's been very quiet on the T side, especially, and that's where we've seen most of the damage done, right, from this Wind and Rain side, is on that T side where they build up the momentum, they dictate the pace, and they force themselves into these areas. But it's though Endpoint have realized, well, we can't just let them do that. So we're going to throw something at them. We're going to stop them from doing so. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen, right back into the grand final. It's the second half here. Endpoint on the T side, Wind and Rain behind by 1 as they play on the CT side. And there'll be a smoke immediately going out towards the Xbox.
Wind and Rain down by 1 round, but definitely not out of this one just yet. Quick aggression coming in towards short. Louty about to try to stop them, but he is going to struggle to connect these shots. Finally connects onto the first, but he's down to 1 point of health. Not feeling good about his chances. They can't connect the kill. Oh, Louty somehow comes away with 3 frags. That should not be happening.
How does he get those last 2 headshots? That's unbelievable. Mighty Max into a 1v4 clutch. He'll start to come back in. He's got the P250 in his hands. He starts to run through the double doors, and he has to get in behind. 1 minute and 5 seconds to play with here for Mighty Max. And the bomb, well, it's just not recoverable at this point. Wind and Rain will pick up this pistol. And that is absolutely ridiculous from Louty. Those last 2 headshots were absolutely filthy.
Oh, well, Mighty Max was looking for some filthy headshots of his own, but that is not going to happen. They all look so cool, calm, and composed as well. Not even fussed about the fact that all those shots were landed so successfully. They are fully focused on trying to win this grand final right now. And Endpoint go for a last-second buy. Is Imi sticking with the AK? No. He gives it over to ZNX, which is understandable considering he is the coach standing in for them. Only the 1 AK in play, though, so they've really got to rely upon that 1 rifle.
Just a moment of time before Endpoint decide that they want to go in towards the B-bomb site. Flashes in, Daddy picks up on the top, he does damage but spots so many players. He can't afford to die here without at least 1 kill, and there it is. Might just get himself more, and of course he will. 3 kills collected from Daddy, and that'll be 9-8. It is with Wind and Rain back into the lead here on Dust 2. If they can start to get that momentum going here on the CT side, we've seen that be a very strong factor for them as well.
Yeah, that felt like a very Endpoint T-side round in terms of just all grouping up, all pushing a site together. That's generally how they've tried to play on their T-side. Sometimes Laney has been away from the squad lurking, which is the case here, currently in towards lower tunnels while his teammates work towards A long. And Laney might get the chance for a fight here. Doesn't happen for him, and that's a lot of nade damage towards A long.
Yeah, and that's Emil Shine doing exactly what he does best. Multi-kills going in towards them, and it's Ents finishing off the job. Double figures here.
Clean and easy for Wind and Rain on that one. It is currently raining outside. Maybe that's the key to Wind and Rain's success.
Perhaps, Alex. All the cards, all the planets have aligned for them.
Because it was really hot like 2 days ago.
It was indeed.
3 days now.
But that is British weather at its finest here at the ESL UK and Ireland Premiership. Here we are. Round number 19. Wind and Rain, the potential to break the back of Endpoint. Got the weapons in their hands though on the T side. And methodically clearing towards middle. Molotov goes in towards the double doors to clear the corners. No one is there. Flash towards short. Emmy gets the information that that's empty as well. So they have map control to work with here.
Yeah, nice little different approach from Endpoint. I think on Dust 2, this is more of how you need to play. You can't often group up all together and take a site early. You do have to take this short control. You have to kind of poke across the map at the start of the round. But then as the time runs down, that's when Endpoint will begin to group up. That's when Imi will lead the charge for the team up towards mid.
Deos looks over the top of the boxes. He wants to pick up this kill on the players trying to get through the window. And there's the first. Imi finished off the second through the smoke. Good lineup from Deos. Headshot connects, and it's falling apart here for Endpoint. They look back, and it's Artis with 1, trying to find the follow-up. Nice shot on the second. Goes back for more. And somehow Artis is still alive. Finally, he will be dropped, but it's ZNX who keeps the dream alive for Endpoint. 25 seconds. Flash to the doors. Headshot is there, and Louty is into a 1v1. 20 seconds left. The bomb can be recovered, and Lauti's off towards the tunnels. He wants to get back in here. He wants to create a nightmare in the Endpoint camp. ZNX will tap the bomb. He has to stick it this time. In the corner, he's safe for this, but Lauti, he's running towards the double doors.
What? Where's he going?
Why is he doing this? Well, he's come back, and this time ZNX has the angle, and somehow Lauti finds it. The clutch comes through, and that is absolutely ridiculous.
I wonder if his teammates told him, hey guys, it's B, because he looked clueless.
Just literally ran past him.
I think he did, because I just saw the facepalm there.
Yeah, the team definitely having a laugh about that one. Luckily, he still gets the kill, though.
I mean, hey, as long as your teammates can communicate it over for you, it's all good. They get it working. The timing for ZNX was so awkward as well. If he'd have committed to that fake plant, he probably would have got the kill there, but at the end of it all, it's Wind and Rain who are going to take an even greater lead, and Ardis has had enough. He's going to run right up mid.
Well, straight through he goes, through the double doors, flashes in, footsteps as he runs towards the ramp, gets the headshot on the ends, and that's the way to do it. Running right at them, taking the kills as ZNX will find the follow-up. Lauti steps in, but it's falling apart here. Daddy with a flashbang. He gets one on the Immy and still alive. He's putting pressure on them, but Ardis has got himself another. This fast play, this change in pace has really allowed them to have a little bit more success here.
Bomb planted safe and sound on the B site. Ardis is definitely someone who's willing to go for those aggressive plays, willing to try to take over a game, and that's what he can provide for this team. When Endpoint really need a round the most, that's when Ardis a lot of the times likes to get aggressive. He likes to take matters into his own hands. He's got a big personality, he's got shoulders to make sure that he can try and carry through those plays, and this time it pays off for him. Creates all sorts of chaos on the B hold for Wind and Rain, and Endpoint take themselves within touching distance. Just a 2-round difference between these teams now.
Yeah, and if you thought this final was going to be a blowout from Wind and Rain after that first map, I wouldn't have blamed you. But Endpoint certainly making a meal of it. And we've seen them earlier, the semi-final that they played, right? They lost the first map, but they ended up winning the next two. And in the final map, in the third map, they won it very convincingly, a 16-5 victory. So they've shown that they have good mental fortitude as well. They don't go down or anything. They always perform well, and they always just have that same level of performance. So we'll see if they can continue it. It is going to be ZNX, a quick kill on towards Ents, but the peak is there for them. They'll shine, and again, it's a kill from ZNX, looking strong, but Lauti lining them up. It's 3 kills, and the bomb is on the floor. Lauti wants more, but it's Mighty Max who says no. And it's into a 2v2. He has to recover the bomb, though. The smoke goes on towards it, but there's an angle for Deos. He's got that. Of course he's found it. It's all on Lenny on the other end of the map into a 1v2 clutch. He's just nowhere to be seen at this point. Plenty of time still for him to play with, but this is sometimes the problem with a very traditional lurk style. You're nowhere near the action. You can't assist the team.
Yeah, and Lauti was just standing out in the open there. Maybe an unexpected position for Endpoint because they could not trade on towards him. It's one of those where you don't really know how to call where Lauti is because he's just out in the open, out in the middle of nowhere. You can't exactly call that he's Car because he's just standing in the middle of long, and there's the shot from Deos. Laney tries to drop in towards Pit.
You could just see the sheer disappointment on Laney's face there when he tried to jump across the pit, but he wasn't even fast enough to get across before the shot was landed. That is absolutely nuts from Lauti, though. He should have fallen after that 1 kill. Getting 3, it should be impossible for him, but he makes it happen. And that might just be the spine smasher. 12-9. 4 away here, Wind and Rain.
Immy's whipped out the AWP again. We've seen either ZNX, Ardis, or Immy take the AWP, and this time it's Immy who finds success with it. Emil Shine holding for his teammate. It's a double map setup, and they shut it down except for Laney. The last man gets 2 kills to his name, and ZNX also comes through with a crucial kill towards long.
Well, Daddy until 1v2 trying to make it happen as the bomb is getting planted. It's Laney that confirms that. No, Daddy will start to make his way back up towards middle. He wants to get in towards the short position. Has, of course, still got the kit. Utility is there as well. He has got the AUG, so he can spray on multiple opponents. Spots the first, not using the scope. Wants to use the crosshair just. As he starts to get close by, they're just playing this one well, baiting him, and Lenny takes the headshot. The triple kill from him. And it's Endpoint answering right back. You know, they lose a pretty horrible round, but they answer right back with a win. So they're still in this.
And nice to see Imi out AWPing Deos in that round as well. No AWP in play into this round, though. It's Wind and Rain who have got themselves into a pretty poor position in terms of their buy. Only the sole rifle in the hands of Daddies. The utility is also very lackluster for Wind and Rain, so they take a gamble towards A short. Sadly, it's only the scouts here to hold towards B, and there's not much Ents can do about this. You can already see that Wind and Rain are fading away from that B site.
At this point, Wind and Rain, they might as well just try and save the Kevlar. Money's in a really bad spot at the minute. Lenny will take one, but he does fall straight away. 4v4. There's the save coming in here from the CT side, but it's Bolster this time. They have an AK, they have an AUG. They've got Kevlar as well, so Wind and Rain managed to hang on to everything here, which should be the case thanks to Endpoint's money not being well built itself. This could be a real chance for them to be able to pick up 13 in this next one.
Endpoint just making sure that they save all their guns as well. The MAC-10 carried over for Ardis, while the rest of them save the AKs. Wind and Rain taking the safe approach into round 24. But as you pointed out, they've got the chance to get something going here with these rifles in hand. Ents trying to use the scouts over towards mid. Ardis rushing forwards, but he gets caught off guard. So much action towards A long, but after all is said and done, it's Wind and Rain who take the man advantage.
The smoke goes through. CZ starts to rattle off, and well, Emmy is forced away. They'll have to go back up towards top middle.
Wow.
The rest of the T-troops starting to make their way through, but Lauti, he wants to come in from behind. He wants to make it happen with the MAC-10. He has to get the timing right, though. If he cannot, that could be a big problem. The Rimmel Shine and Ents, they hold on towards the A-bomb site. Not the shot being landed. Instead, it's Imi with an immediate headshot. Rimmel Shine being picked off as well. Lauti finally gets the flank going, but it's too late. It doesn't have the impact it could have. And Daddy is in a 1v3 clutch. AUG up against the rest of Endpoint, and will be Lenny taking that away. 12-12. Endpoint in a position where they might be the victors here of Dust 2.
And this map heating up now, all tied up. If Wind and Rain could have just held on towards that A site a little longer, if they could have just stayed alive, that's all they needed to do to allow that flank to come through, but it doesn't happen for them. And into another gun round, we're going to see the same thing again. ZNX trying to fight, shoots his teammate in the leg, and that could be a problem. Ardis trapped in the corner.
Rimmel Shine is just holding the angle, still there with the kill. The double comes through, and it's Wind and Rain with the two-man advantage immediately here into round number 25 as Lauti will step in with one as well. It's Mighty Max alongside Lenny, left into a 2v4. Bomb on the floor. Molotov goes through. At this point, you know, you've got more chance of just saving these weapons than you do winning this one. So Rimmel Shine will take away the kill onto Mighty Max. It's Lenny on 12 HP, 1v4 clutch required of him. It's just not going to happen. And it'll be 13-12 with Wind and Rain heading into the lead.
Wind and Rain didn't even care they had the bomb at long doors. They just kept on running through. They finally go back to have a look at it. Flashbang avoided as Laney moves forward. Second flash to follow, forces him to look away. And as you suggested, Wind and Rain are back into the lead, back on track.
The main thing I want to look at here is the money from Endpoint. I want to see what sort of buy they can afford coming into this, because it didn't really look like a whole lot of them had money. Some had some extra cash, so they could probably drop some weapons. And yeah, it's not amazing, but it's certainly a buy they can work with. But this is such an important one for them. If they can't pick this up, it's Wind and Rain on 14-12, most likely going to be on grand final point.
Feels like a much-needed round for Endpoint, considering the circumstances. As you suggested, their money's starting to look very, very shaky, especially if they were to lose this one. Three-man B stack early into this round for Wind and Rain. Really not focusing on mid whatsoever. They should start to look back towards that position shortly. Endpoint able to move up towards short. Smoke goes down towards CT, but this short position is currently quite open for the taking, especially with Imi finding a really nice opening.
Great kill from Imi. Again, he's finding that opening success in towards the A bomb side, and that was something he found a little earlier on as well, on the previous rounds. At this point, Wind and Rain don't get a kill quickly. They might just think about saving it. I think that might just be the call here. With ZNX, that should be the final nail in the coffin here. That should be the call to carry everything into the next one. And Endpoint survive again. It's 13-13. This keeps on delivering.
Yeah, and we were saying that Endpoint's money was somewhat struggling. Well, Wind and Rain are in a similar situation where they don't exactly have a massive amount of money in the bank. And with these players slowly but surely being picked off at the end here, it doesn't feel good for Wind and Rain in terms of their buy into the next. Ents manages to get a couple of kills, but that's all she wrote. Endpoint take away the guns, and Wind and Rain are the ones who have a decision to make into this next round, and I think they're probably going to have to save. This is looking good for Endpoint right now. It's been a very back and forth affair, but you can see Wind and Rain's investment into this round is minimal.
You know, they're just holding the cross now at this point. Couple of players trying to get into the open, but it's Ents with the headshot. Imi completely finished off, and the man advantage is going to be there on the Wind and Rain side. They should not pick this up. Surely there's no way in hell they make this happen, Alex.
Oh, Laney trying to bait out some shots. There's a man on the other side. There's the spray down between them. Laney and Mighty Max make it work, although Deos comes in with one of his own, and Mighty Max, oh no, he's not got his gun out.
Oh no.
This is very, very awkward indeed, but I think Endpoint have figured out the A side of the map is probably open.
Well, oh, missed shot from Ardens. No way. He's fallen, and that gives an AWP over towards the CT side. ZNX got rid of Ents. 2v2, Lauti and the Molotov pushes right through. He wants to take a fight, but ZNX will take that headshot. Bomb not yet planted. Deos wants to make a 1v2 happen, and he will not be able to do so as ZNX gets the triple. Well played from the youngster on Endpoint. They will go into the lead. It's 14-13. Currently, they are one map down in the series after losing their map pick in a dominant fashion, but they come on to the home ground of Wind and Rain. Dust 2, and this is where they're delivering.
Such a scrappy round, but after all is said and done, Endpoint get the round win, and that's all that matters at this point. Just grind out those rounds, because there's not that many left here on Dust 2. At least not that many in regulation. Overtime is certainly a possibility at this point with how close these teams have been playing.
ZNX is certainly starting to step up for the side. Kind of said earlier, sometimes he can struggle with the confidence, perhaps. But certainly not at the minute. He's landing everything. And we can sometimes see that, in particular on Dust 2, when we see ZNX just go absolutely nuclear.
Yeah, it always felt like, maybe it's not the confidence even, maybe it's just that his role on the team, ZNX on Endpoint, never really seemed to work out, but he's upping his game here now that they're playing a bit more loose.
Well, Daddy towards the window, starts to spam on down, but has to fall away. Equal damage done, basically. It will be Deos to the back of the bomb site. Laney's got the kill, and Deos is under pressure. Molotov coming in as well. He cannot find anything, and Laney will take the headshot. It's going to be map point here for Endpoint, unless Emil Shine can step in. It will be the one kill. It's a 3v4. Advantage still there with Endpoint. They're clearing the angles. They're trying to get back into this. But with the advantage, and Endpoint having the B bomb site, you know, it's notorious for being difficult, and so Wind and Rain realize that it's got to be the safe call. They're going to play for overtime.
Wind and Rain losing out on the B side of the map. Laney gets the 2 kills necessary to take this round win and to potentially take us to a 3rd map, because Endpoint are just 1 round away. And obviously that's what we want to see. Getting to the 3rd map, on towards the grand final, that would be the perfect way to finish the Premiership. Endpoint has still got a little bit of work to do to get there, though.
Yeah, it's not going to be over just yet. We know Wind and Rain, they are a very momentum-based team, and they haven't really got that. So maybe Endpoint have done enough, but I feel like it's not over just yet. There's still obviously a chance here for Wind and Rain to get this all the way to overtime. It has to be flawless from here on in. They need 2 in a row. Shots from Imi going through the mid doors, no one taking any damage from them. The buy is not bad here on the Wind and Rain side, but they are missing that AWP to challenge Imi. It's quite interesting to see the likes of Deos, that we nicknamed Deos the Destroyer this morning because he was playing out of his mind, get opt by Imi. He did say he was the best in the world in his pre-match interview, and he's certainly playing well. Maybe not the best in the world, because he does get traded by Emil Shine, who gets 2 kills out of nowhere, and this is looking good. ZNX at least able to get the equalizing frag, and now an equilibrium on the board.
Oh, Emil Shine might just get the bomb here. Pushing in towards top mid, there it is, he spots the bomb, but there's no one here on the Endpoint side to recover it. That's a massive issue for Endpoint right now. Emil Shine's actually flanking in through A long. This could be a free frag if he finds ZNX in the back.
The other 2 players coming in from behind him. He's just going to be the player playing with a shadow advantage in this position.
Yes.
Surely you get at least 1 kill if they decide to go towards long, because ZNX thinks it's clear, right? At least he looks back, so there could be an inkling that there could be a player in there. But dealing with this angle even after checking it is a big problem. Emil Shine will find it, but the trade comes in, not expecting the second player, but Molotov comes in from the CT side before he dies, so that's very well played from Emil Shine.
Buys a bit more time for his team, but Endpoint want to get that bomb on the site right here, right now. Lauti's running through. This is so ballsy from Lauti. They don't expect him to be there, and it's only Mighty Max left alive. They're rushing him down. No time left. Mighty Max is going to fall, and we are going to round 30.
Molotovs do not exist for Lauti. He just runs through them all, and here it is. We've gone the distance, and we could get the bonus rounds if they can pick this one up, Wind and Rain. It's 15-14, still Endpoint stand on map point on Dust 2 to try and force a 3rd map in the grand final here.
Imi taking the AWP again. This time Deos has one of his own to try to counter the UK AWPer. Lauti has been able to push up over towards the long doors, so that's a good amount of control early for Wind and Rain. Allows them to focus much more heavily on the B side of the map, safe in the knowledge that Lauti has got that control.
One player further back, it is Ents, leading towards CT. Off towards long aggressively in the form of Lauti, and well, we've seen some big performances in that position from him already. 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Mighty Max starts to make his way through the mid doors. That shot will give away that he's close. So the player in CT can prepare and become ready for this as Endpoint look to try and spring in towards the A-bomb side, it seems, as they've got short control. Ents will peek into the open. Mighty Max finished off. Man advantage is there for the CT side as Emil Shine wants to pick up a few more players coming in towards short. He's done it. He's found the first and the second. Art is the only player finding anything for Endpoint, and this looks like it will be overtime. In fact, it is.
There we go, Wind and Rain stop it on the A side of the map. We saw a little bit of pressure early from Endpoint trying to move towards mid, but there was no reaction from Wind and Rain. They were not falling for any of those fakes into that last round. They were just standing true. They had faith that their setup would hold on towards A. That's exactly what happens for them, and this game is going to keep on giving as we head straight into overtime.
Well, flash buying about to go in towards long. Money is no longer an issue for these sides. They're starting to make their way through. Molotovs coming on in. It will be Endpoint looking for their approach through long. The bomb is there. Wind and Rain starting to get that momentum we were talking about. They are a momentum-based team. If they have that, they can be an unstoppable force. Endpoint need to do their best here to get the start that they want coming into overtime.
This is one of the first rounds where we've really seen Endpoint have this A-long control for free.
Yeah.
Wind and Rain have not fought for it at all. The response from Wind and Rain, though, is to push towards short and try to take away this other area of A.
Oh, Ents knows this. He hears him close by and he wants the kill, but Linny, he might be the man to pick it up. He knows there's an angle, there's an opportunity here as well. He'll look into the corner, the kill comes through from Linny. Ents is finished off and it will be the battle towards long ensuing. This time it's Endpoint winning the battles as Artis and Mighty Max find the kills. Emil Shine backs off, but he's under pressure. As Mighty Max cuts off the rotation, there are attempts to do so. He will find it, Linny picks up the kill, and a flawless win from Endpoint. That's the start they were looking for.
That round just went up in flames for Wind and Rain there. Couple of players getting caught in that Molotov. Not sure if they wanted to go in the smoke or not. Not an easy decision to make in those circumstances. And Endpoint go back to A-Long again, but this time Wind and Rain want to fight them.
Well, Molotovs go all over the place as ZNX taken away. And spamming through the smokes. It's going to be Louty with one. Emmy and Lenny, they'll pick up a couple of kills between them, but Deos and Daddy, well, they're in a 2v4. As they start to make their way in towards the position, Deos will hold this angle to the left of the smoke. Big gap to play with, but the follow-up smoke comes in. No longer any problems for the T side, but big problems for the CT side as Deos is being dispatched with Daddy into a 1v4. We'll look over the top and take the kill on towards Lenny, but still a 1v3 is needed. They know exactly where he is, and that makes things probably 110% more difficult.
Rattling off a couple of shots. There's so much money here that you might as well give it a go in overtime. Daddies has realized that as he moves forwards, trying to use the smoke to his advantage. Molotov in hand, decides not to use it, and ZNX takes his head off. And what is the answer for Wind and Rain now to that A-Long control? Because in that first round of overtime, Wind and Rain give up A-Long entirely. They lose because of it. In the second, they try to fight for A-Long. They lose the duels, incredibly one-sided. Ends up being into a 4v2, which Endpoint were always going to win. I think Wind and Rain have realized that's the problem position, but they don't know how to deal with it.
Never thought I would see one of these teams have to call a tactical pause. We've seen a few come in against Wind and Rain today, but they haven't really been pressured at any point. And it's kind of that question whether or not we'll see them react to the struggles. Like we kind of alluded to earlier, that's one of the questions that we haven't really had to ask.
Auto.
Well, auto sniper. It'll look right down towards middle, will do some damage onto Daddy, but that's about it. Not a whole lot picked up, and while Lenny has been stopped in his tracks by the Molotov, he'll get through without too much damage being taken.
I think Daddies has had enough of just losing that A site. He's going to push straight through B, getting that early information. And ZNX is here to try to stop any further aggression. Daddies is happy to sit in this corner, though. So they take control of tunnels, allowing Wind and Rain to stack a little more heavily onto the A side of the map. And that is where Endpoint are currently looking to end this round. They're grouping up towards A-Long. So the information is there for Wind and Rain. The question is, can the A-Hold step up?
Artis, the patience, it works for him. He will get the kill onto Daddy, but Deos is there for the trade. 4v4, the push coming in towards the long position. Ents on the AWP, has to stand tall. He misses the first shot, so throws the flashbang in return. Emil Shine luckily is with him. ZNX will pick him up, but the Molotovs are so strong here from Endpoint. Utility usage is on another level. As Mighty Max will finish off the job. It's 18-15, and it's map point for Endpoint.
There we go, even with all the information. Artis managed to land that shot towards tunnels, taking away one of those players. That's what I was worried about with his position there, is that it's a headshot angle for the T peeking towards you. So the AK can just reply with the insta headshot, deals with Daddy, and then from that point onwards, Endpoint's push up through A-Long is exactly the same again.
Well, it has to be flawless here on in from Wind and Rain. They cannot afford to lose a single round. So this is certainly going to be a difficult one for them. And that's just to bring it to double OT. So we'll see if they can get it through, but Endpoint will be very happy with that performance. ZNX drop to 27. Look down the barrel. Nice shot from Deos, though. Headshot connects. Opening kill is there for Wind and Rain.
Good start to the round from Deos, holding on towards mid. 2 AWPs continue in play for Wind and Rain, and a little bit more information for Deos. He definitely saw those players, communicating that over to his teammates. They don't have much control towards A on the Wind and Rain side of things, so they just decide they're going to go for this B split, and Emmy is trying to flank.
Emmy is coming in with Lenny, and they're just going to go right in behind them. There's the play. It will be 2 from Lenny coming right through. Ents and Deos are there. The Deagles, though, they find success, and it's all on Artis. A 1v3 has to come through. Smoke goes through in towards the bomb site. He's just going to run right through the doors already. He's been spotted, he's been heard, and Loudy will take the kill. It's 16 here on the board. The first step of many needed here for Wind and Rain to get right back into this. But that push from Amy and Lenny on short seemed to be communicated by Lenny. He seemed like he had said to the team, okay, we're just going to go here and flank a bit behind him. It could have worked, just very unfortunate in the way it happened.
Max taking some punishment on the mid-cross. There were 5 snipers watching it from the Wind and Rain side of things. Only half health on towards Max, though. Could have been worse. Yeah, as you were suggesting, Endpoint had quite a good read as to what Wind and Rain were doing in that round, but it didn't matter because in all of the chaos, Wind and Rain managed to pull out the pistols, get those kills necessary to take them into the advantageous position. And then they only really needed the frags to get the job done. Emil Shine boosted up towards tunnels. This could work. He gets the opening. ZNX gets one in reply, but he jumps backwards, somehow survives. ZNX gets dunked on. Emil Shine in with the nade, and now this B site is completely lost.
Wind and Rain with the man advantage, and at this point, Endpoint are just backing off. So here we go. This could be double overtime, Alex.
Yeah, I guess the chance that you win the retake is really, really low, being a man down. Then again, you have got quite a lot of money in the bank, but I guess they want to make sure they get those AWPs. So just saving onto a couple of players, and that means it all comes down to the next round again.
Well, after such a blowout on the first, it was a little bit disappointing. Second map has delivered massively. We get 2 maps worth, Alex, in one game. At this point, you'd love to see a third. Not so much if you're Wind and Rain. And there's a kill from Emmy coming through, but Daddy will get rid of him. And it's 18-17. We stand 1 away from double OT or the win coming in here from Endpoint.
Here we go then. Again, the snipers for the mid-cross. Wind and Rain have dealt damage in both of these rounds. This time, Endpoint slowed down on the cross, and they get across safely. It's actually Ardis's AWP over towards A long that gets the opening, so action all across the map. Endpoint get the early advantage, though, and this is their chance.
Endpoint have been pretty good when they've got that advantage. That's converting it into a round win. A round win at this stage would mean a third map. And Endpoint desperately want to get that. It's a little bit more up in the air of where that one will go. And here comes in as Deos will take the headshot on towards ZNX. It's back into a 4v4. Double overtime is back on the cards as Emil Shine will find the trade on a Mighty Max. We're back into a 3v3, and this is just a perfect way to sum up these two teams. Equal back and forth, and Emmy's just going to charge right through. Emil Shine will take his head off, and he'll look back up towards window as the flashblind comes in. It's Lenny just pushing right through. The second is there as well, and Lenny might have just done enough. It's all on Ents to make the 1v2 happen, and that is ridiculous. Ents finds it, and we're going to double overtime.
Oh, the last shot from Ents goes straight to the face. That's all he needed at the end there. And we are not done yet, folks. Another overtime ready for you. Ready for your viewing pleasure at this point. You can see both teams really digging deep at this point to come up with any new ideas because they must have gone through everything that they had.
I'm sure Lenny at that point just thought that he had it in the bag. You know, he had thought he had done enough as he just hopped through the window. He got those multi-kills. He just couldn't quite capitalize in the clutch. And here comes the push. It's Ents taking away Emmy. Man advantage is there for Wind and Rain.
Good start to this second overtime for Wind and Rain. Rocking the double AWP again. We've seen this from Wind and Rain a couple of times here in overtime. With all the money in play, they're happy to go for the 2 AWPs on the T side, which is maybe somewhat surprising. But it's worked out for them up until this point. A long is currently being left wide open on the Endpoint side. They are assuming that they'll hear some nades if that A long aggression comes through, so they'd rather focus on short. Ardis, though, feels a bit too out in the open. He decides to drop down. And this is kind of a big gamble from Endpoint. They are leaving A really open right now.
Lenny Making his approach towards short, had a big performance in the last one. This time, he's going to be picked off by Deos. And it's going to be the two-man advantage for Wind and Rain, and they might just get another as Artist tries his best to try and pull it back inside of middle, but it won't happen. Oh no, Immelshine just walked right through the smoke, and Mighty Max pulled his knife. He is finished off, and Immelshine to find the follow-up. Things are just not going well at all here for Endpoint. And Immelshine doesn't even commit far enough for ZNX to find at least a consolation frag. So at this point, everything is going in favor of Wind and Rain. And Immelshine is stepping up. You have other individuals here on the Wind and Rain side finding success. This is where they are at their most dangerous.
Yeah, and it was feeling like Immelshine was having kind of a quiet game at the start of this one, but he has rocketed to the top of the scoreboard. For his team at least, 31 kills. So the fact that when he's having a quiet game, he still ends up at the top just goes to show how important he is to this team. And then over on the other side of things, as you said, Laney's been having a great game. Currently top on towards the Endpoint squad. Top fragging on the entire server, in fact. He's had so many rounds where he's picked up multi-kills, but it's not been enough to pick up the decisive victory that Endpoint have been looking for. And we are starting to see quite a lot of chaos come into play in some of these rounds. And I feel like that's where Wind and Rain will like to be, because they think they've got that good aim. They think they can out-aim their opponents, and they're trying to prove that right now as Deos picks up the opening.
Op picked up. Looking down the barrel in towards the long doors. Again, Wind and Rain with the advantage. Exactly what they would have wanted. And when they get going, again, it's so hard to stop them. Endpoint are going to have to try and figure out a way of doing that. Molotov goes up towards the short stairs. The flash is there as well. At this point, Wind and Rain taking their time. They'll start to come in towards this position with ZNX sitting back. They'll want to find success. There's going to be the smoke that goes up. Molotov comes in, on towards the stairs, and then again, it's just a utility exchanges. Back and forth we go.
Deos taking aggression into the mid doors with the AWP in his hands. They are lining up this B split, and Mighty Max has been good so far on the B hold, but this is going to be a really, really difficult hold unless Laney can help him.
Well, Immelshine has got to kill. Laney will get one back, and he stays alive, but the deagle's in, and Deos gets two. Absolutely incredible stuff. That's all on Immy. The 1v4 clutch. And well, he did say he was the best player in the world in the pre-match interview. We'll have to see if that is the case. He's got the kill onto Immelshine. He needs 3 more. If he wins this, I don't know what I'll do.
I don't know. He's not going for it, so I think you're safe.
There we go.
Just looking to save that AWP. Wind and Rain about to take their 20th round win. We weren't even sure if we were going to get to overtime, let alone a second one. However, this is where Wind and Rain have started to really show up. And again, it's that duo that we were discussing, Deos and Immelshine, that have really helped them through once we've got into overtime. Those two players have stepped up quite significantly. Maybe not seeing the amazing amount of flashy plays from either of those players, but they're getting the round wins, and that is all you can ask from them.
While the shots just keep rattling through, and this is stopping Endpoint from getting in towards the B bomb site. That allows one of their players just to sprint into the tunnels, and they get control there easily. No pressure really coming through here from the CT side. You can see they're forced to play a little bit more passive on the B bomb site immediately because they don't know what's there for them. And waiting inside of the tunnels are currently 2 players in the upper tunnels and 1 in the lower side of things. So Wind and Rain, early advantages taken in terms of map control. They're looking for the flawless T-half.
Something interesting on the stats side of things is that 3 rounds have come down to 1vx situations, and they've all been won by Wind and Rain. And in a game that's so close like this, winning out those clutches can be all the difference. That could absolutely be what Wind and Rain look back on as what brought them over the line here. We'll see if they can get over the line, though, because Wind and Rain need 2 more rounds in this overtime to take victory. They'll be hoping one of them comes here on their T side as they set up the A play.
flash goes in. Emmy is forced away, but he looks back for the shot this time. Lauti will take him away. Not a single kill there, but Lenny steps through. 1 kill is collected, but that's it, as Daddy will drop him. It's a 4v3 advantage siding with Wind and Rain. And while ZNX is off towards long, we've got an AWP watching that, and they've got 2 of them in play on the T side. There's Deos with the first pickup on towards Artis as ZNX tries to get in towards the bomb site, spots 1 player, but it's Shine with the pickup. All on Mighty Max, needs to win a 1v4 clutch, and it's just not going to happen. It's map, series, and championship point here for Wind and Rain.
Imi had to at least get either 1 kill or survive there on the hold, because as soon as he goes down, you can see Laney realizes he's got to do something. He can't just sit back in towards Goose. He had to try and step towards his opponents. Only good for the 1 kill on towards that A side hold. And that means that Wind and Rain are 1 round away from victory.
Well, Endpoint, are they going to do the same? Come back from a flawless deficit to pulling it back to triple overtime. Definitely going to be difficult, but we've seen it done so far on the server. Wind and Rain, though, have got that momentum. It is going to be a 5-man push through long from Endpoint. They look to try and stop Wind and Rain taking the championship here. As the smoke is ready to go in towards the CT cross. They'll try and just send all their strength in towards the A bomb site. Wind and Rain look to hold on as Shine is on the spot. He's been so brilliant for them, but Laney's taking him away. Endpoint with the man advantage here as they start to bombard the A bomb site. It's got to be the retake, it looks like, here from Wind and Rain. If they can get that bomb planted, which they're not doing right now. The utility just keeps coming through. The flash is in from Deos as well. And he's looking for the pick. Artis knows there's a player close by, but he's just biding his time. It's Lenny with a second in the round. Artis picks away, and that is going to be another kill. This should be one in the bag for Endpoint. It's looking likely, and Wind and Rain, they will not win it here. They'll have to do it another time.
And nice composure from Endpoint to just make sure that they don't overextend there. Make sure that they don't get caught while they're planting the bomb. They just wait for those smokes to fade, win out in the fights. With them having so many players swarming over the bomb site, they knew that they'd be able to take out any opponents who were out in the open behind those smokes. So they make sure that they get this round over the line.
So 21-19. Endpoint, the first step of a very long road back into this one. Not going to be easy to walk into it, but we'll see if they can do so.
I wonder if we're just going to see Endpoint continue to go back to A long. Because in those first 3 rounds of their T side,
yeah,
that's what they did every round.
Yeah, and it worked for them, right?
Yeah.
And over time, it's really difficult, especially as a mix, to come up with new things, right? So you kind of have to just go with what's working. And if it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. Well, this time Wind and Rain sent a little bit more presence here. Utility coming in as well, and they're dealing with that well. 2 Molotovs come in, they send multiple players that way, and throw a reply Molotov up towards short. So the answer from the loss from Wind and Rain is to just throw all the utility towards the positions that they could be pressured from.
Oh. Close shot from Imi, doesn't connect this time around, and after pressuring A, Endpoint have quickly rotated to this B take.
Well, Danny's pushed up in towards the tunnels. It ends with 1 onto Mighty Max, but Lenny's taken away 2. He stepped up on a massive level at this point. 38 kills to his name. And it's into a 3v4. The man advantage is there. What a shot from Imi. Up towards short. Shine has got whiplash off of that one. And Deos and Lauti in a 2v4. I think it's his time yet again.
Looks like it. Losing that B site way too quickly. As you said, Laney stepping up once we've headed into overtime. Imi landing that really nice shot as well. And even with these kills coming through, the time is not really there. Laney has got the man in towards tunnels. Maybe they have a chance if they quickly get this kill, but it seems unlikely. Here comes the fight. Laney gets another kill. It's actually ZNX who gets it from behind, but it does not matter. Endpoint win the round. That's all we need to look towards. And who knows how many overtimes we could have if this continues. Still 1 more round for Endpoint, though.
Yeah.
And not over the line.
Still a chance here for Wind and Rain to become the champions of the ESL Premiership. Tactical pause coming in. I think it's very warranted at this point. We could be here all day, Alex.
Yeah, take some time. It is Wind and Rain taking this time out. I almost feel as though in this situation, when you know you're 1 round away from winning the championship, taking the time out here kind of puts the pressure on you, you would think. you have to sit back and realize, well, this is our chance. We could win right here. Let's see if it works out for Wind and Rain or if the pressure is too much for them.
Well, there's going to be a faster play here from Endpoint in towards the B-bomb side, it seems. They've went from long, progressively through middle. Now they're going straight in towards the B site. Straight through they go. Ents with the AWP. He's not going to be able to hold on. He's going to be dropped by Artist, and it's looking good for Endpoint's chances here. Deos is holding the cross, but it's the AWPs towards this side of the map that are really not working. And the grenade is going to go in. It's looking likely we might just go to triple overtime.
Look at all these nades for Endpoint. Molotov, smokes, they've got everything they could need to lock Wind and Rain out. That smoke doesn't connect either. They've still got 2 mollies left on the Endpoint side. This is so good for Endpoint.
Wind and Rain are going to attempt this retake. They've got a man deficit, and that's a big problem as they start to come on in. It's Artist with 2, ZNX with 1, and Daddy's finished off as well. 21-21, and we go again. It's triple overtime. This final is not going to end anytime soon, it seems. Endpoint want to bring it to a third. And they may have said, they might have had all that chat before this started, oh, we don't mind if we lose.
Oh, yeah.
If they lose in this fashion, they're gonna be pissed.
Of course. And, I mean, they're still fighting hard in overtime. They clearly do care, or they wouldn't be fighting so hard, trying to make sure they come back into it for a third map. 21-21 is the scoreline. This one could be going on for a long, long time because these teams right now cannot be separated. We are starting to get some pretty insane numbers on the scoreboard. As you said, Laney up there at the top, 38 kills currently. No one quite reaching that 40 kill mark yet. Then again, there's only been 42 rounds, so the fact that Laney has kept up nearly a kill per round is really, really impressive.
Close to it. At this point, seems as though both teams just need a little bit of a breather because this is certainly a long game. And the exciting part about this, Alex, is this might not even be the final map of the series. If Endpoint managed to pull it back and end up winning this, we could go again on a third map.
That's definitely a possibility at this point. Both teams taking a bit more time before this overtime because I think they do need a bit of a break, just mentally. It's got to be taxing having so many positions where they could maybe have won the map and then it ends up being snatched away from them.
When we get to overtime and we have two teams, we kind of talked about their play style being very loose and very puggy, right? They're not going to have anything to fall back on. The thing is, for me, that's been impressive is Endpoint on their T side have looked like they've got solid executes. They've got good smokes, they've Molotov timings, the smoke timings are there. They've called things on the fly that are just well executed, which is really strange to see, and it's certainly working for them. Whoever's in-game leading here on Dust 2, I'd be very interested to find out who it is because they're doing a good job here in overtime.
Yeah, we've seen Imi line up a bunch of those nades as well, which is really nice to see. He's definitely put in some time on towards those pieces of utility. I think it was him who was lining up the smoke all the way from pit over towards the long cross. So, I mean, he is a man who once said his favorite weapon in CSGO is nades. I don't know how you answer that question with nades, but he did. So clearly he's got the utility prepared.
There's been a few players in CS that have said that. I think Flusher is definitely one of the ones that is probably the best nade player within Counter-Strike, I would say. And here we go. Triple overtime between Endpoint and Wind and Rain. This is definitely going to be a nail-biter as we move into the next one. We've seen flawless halves back-to-back in 2 overtimes. Neither team being able to pick up one on that respective CT side.
Man disadvantage for Endpoint to overcome. They're hoping that Imi is the man who can pull them back into it with the AWP. He's searching for an angle. Wind and Rain not offering themselves up though. Going up to a 5v4 early. Oftentimes teams feel as though they don't need to take any unnecessary risks. That seems to be the approach from Wind and Rain here. But this A long hold has consistently been a problem for Wind and Rain. They need to make sure that they can successfully hold towards this A site, or at least slow Endpoint down to allow that rotation.
The local currency now becomes CT round wins. If you can pick up one of these, you're on a very good path. But here comes the push in from Endpoint up towards the A bomb site. Wind and Rain still hold the advantage, not yet answered by the T side. It might just be followed up upon as Emil Shine gets boosted over the top, finds the headshot onto Laney. Another kill coming right through, and ZNX is the only player doing anything for his side. He's got himself 2 kills, a kill from Emmy as well, and it's enough. It's a 2v2. He'll look back towards CT. He wants another frag. He hasn't got the opportunity, but ZNX does. And somehow this one has fallen out of the hands of Wind and Rain.
Yeah, ZNX just finds fight after fight all over the A site, gets himself the triple, and leaves Daddies in a 1v2. He has a Molotov at his disposal, but he doesn't want to risk pulling that one out. He's trying to creep his way forwards, and Imi misses the shot, but ZNX certainly will not miss his mark. 4 kills from him in the round. Another one of the Endpoint players who's been stepping up, and he gives them the early lead.
ZNX saves the team now. If Wind and Rain find themselves a CT win, it's like they've finally broken the curse, but I don't know how that hasn't gone their way. It's very unfortunate. Nice shot coming in from ZNX as well. That's his 5th kill in 2 rounds. And you might just get some more as Emmy wants to charge right in towards the B bomb. So he's going in with the AWP. He's rushing B with an AWP. He goes for the no-scope, but it's Artis that'll bail him out of that one. Headshot connects. He's looking for more through the smoke, and Artis has got it. Looking good here for Endpoint.
It's another round. You can already see Wind and Rain giving up on this one. As soon as ZNX gets the kill on the mid-cross, Endpoint's confidence skyrocketed that they could go for that B rush because they figured it's likely there's only one CT here on the B site itself. That was the exact situation they found themselves in, where they were able to get the entire bomb site with only the 1 kill over towards B. And that leaves Wind and Rain desperately searching for anything at the end here, but let's be real, this round is over. They're playing for the next one.
ZNX has stepped up to another level here on Dust 2. He's playing so well. Deos trying to stay alive, but Mighty Max are taking that one away. And the player you kind of brought up earlier in our first semi-final was indeed Ents, and kind of talked about him being perhaps the lowest statistical player on the team here. He's not having a great game. He hasn't even broken 20 kills yet. 18 and 29. Been a bit quiet in respect to the rest of the scoreboard. Even Imi is frying above him.
Imi again with the AWP in his hands. That's what he has preferred here on Dust 2. Next, able to creep his way into this corner. I'm not sure Wind and Rain are fully aware of his position right now. Smoke is currently covering him off, and they are looking this direction. ZNX left alone on towards long. Dodges the flashbang. Good work from ZNX, but Lauti gets the refrag. An important kill to find with how well ZNX had been playing.
Well, Daddy holding the gap, looking for the kill onto Lenny. He's got that. Man advantage is there for Wind and Rain. If they find themselves a CT round, it certainly is still on. It gives them at least a little bit of insurance policy that this will go a little bit further as you move into the second half. He looks to spray away. He has gone and taken some damage. He will deal some as well. This is not going his way. He wants a couple of kills. It's Daddy and Loudy though. They finally peek and they get the frags. It's all on Artis. 1v4 having to come through here. Finally, there's a CT round win. It's Wind and Rain who grabbed that one at the half. It's 23-22. And at this point, who knows? If we have, again, a flawless half coming in from the Wind and Rain side, it's all but over.
Yeah, again, so much chaos towards mid in that situation. Mighty Max is left stuck in a smoke. All sorts of stuff going on towards mid, but at the end of it all, it was Wind and Rain who managed to hold it out. And heading into their T side, again, those auto snipers attempting to land shots. And this time, it's Ardis' AWP to win the fight towards long. We've seen this battle go through time after time. Endpoint win out for the man advantage early in this one.
Molotov going to be on the smoke. Will be the kill from Deos as he will take away ZNX, and it's into a 4v4. Smoke drops in towards the tunnels. Players will hide in behind it. It is Wind and Rain going for the boost over the top. Emil Shine. We've seen him get boosted and find kills, but look at that. The spray from Mighty Max going right through. does damage and forces Shine away. Endpoint want to find success here at the start of overtime number 3. The second half, at least.
Time ticking for Wind and Rain. Looks like they've made up their minds going back towards B. Mighty Max again here on the solo hold, but there's 2 AWPs for Wind and Rain. Not exactly the best weapons to be clearing this close right angle.
Yeah, but we've seen perhaps they're taking a leaf out of Imi's book. Rush B with AWPs and see what happens as Mighty Max looks to hold. He gets the 1 kill onto Ents, but Daddy stepped in with 1. Mighty Max has fallen, and again, it's even. It's a 3v3, 20 seconds. Bomb getting crossed over towards the site, and Laney hears it. Grenade goes in on top, does some damage, but not the kill. And so it has to be the retake, the 3v3. Still looking good for Endpoint. They've got the kits alive. Only the 1 nade here on the T side. Nothing on the CT side. And Deos has spotted Imi. The headshot is in. Daddy able to step up as well. He's got Artis and Laney. He's got 1 but needs 2 more to collect this clutch. There's the second, looking for the third. It all falls on Shine just to stay in behind. He runs into the open and Laney makes it happen. The 1v3 clutch, and it's Endpoint on 24. Laney continues to be the talisman for Endpoint.
What a round from Laney in on the retake. Just finds kill after kill. Wind and Rain just couldn't trade on towards him. They gave Laney 1v1s all across that B site. And that puts Endpoint 1 round away from taking this map. At least I think it is. Honestly, I can't do maths at this point. It's so late in the day, but it is Shine rushing up mid at the start of this round. Wind and Rain desperately searching for a way into this one.
We're looking for the magic number of 26. If anyone at home who has lost track, we do not blame you.
I thought it was 25. Wait, let me do the maths.
If we're looking for the magic, we'll figure it out, Alex.
We'll figure it out. We'll see. Hopefully the players know.
Laney up on top of the blue. He'll look over the top of the smoke in towards the long house. Molotov goes in. He wants the kill. He does get it on to Ents. It's the man advantage here on the CT side. Now Shine will start to back away alongside Deos. They've lost that early pick, and that's a big problem for them. "26 runs do win you this game. And Endpoint 2 away from getting that. And so bring them to map point. Utility coming in. It's the smoke for the cross as ZNX will sit here. The headshot is in from Shine. On to ZNX. And there we go. Artis replying right back in. 4v2 as Artis will get another one just right through the smoke. It seems Artis doesn't care. Mighty Max to hold the B bomb, so as he's done time and time again, and it's Deos. So 1v4, it ain't gonna happen, and there it is. It will be the boys from Endpoint taking the win, and there it is. Finally, we get to see another map. I'm looking forward to seeing that one come through, honestly, because Endpoint, they will not give up.